Hi everyone and welcome back to Articor C. Today for Elephant.no. Elephant has been so kind to send me this OMP M2 version 2. We're going to send it back after the review, but if I like it, I probably will buy it, of course. And we have more products to come from OMP. We will add timestamps in the info section below if you just want to jump straight to the setup for the radio and the bind process. There are a few differences between the M1 and the M2 version 2. In the middle you have the M2 Explorer. What I know and what I can tell you is that the version 2 of the M2 has a much better flight controller, which allows you to go in and fine-tune all the specs. Out of the box, the heli should be ready to fly, and the only thing that we need to do is set it up on our Spektrum Radio, which I'm going to show you. But first of all, we are going to check what's in the box. And of course, I'm looking so much forward to do this. So we're going to put aside the radio and take a look at the content in this small box. Before we open the box, this helicopter comes in 3 different colors, and as you can see here, you have the charm orange, you have dull purple, and you have racing yellow. It looks a bit greenish on this box, but I have sneak peeked in the box and it's sort of medium fluorescent yellow, but it's so cool and it makes me wanna have the whole series. I want the 3 colors. Of course I could buy the canopies, but that's not cool. It's cooler to have 3 helis on the shelf. Anyway, let's dig into the box. So the OMP M2 version 2 comes in a pressure molded foam box, which is quite cool because this one can handle some hard handling without getting dents or marks on them. Cool to have in the car, put it in your backpack or something like that. And let's open this. Whoa, Jesus. It's so beautiful. Let's just take the helicopter out right away. Look at this. She is really a beauty. The cool thing about these helis are, if you're ordering the purple one, you will get a purple motor, or red purple-ish, and of course the red one you get a red motor. And as you can see on the side here, this aluminium support is also yellow greenish, and the motor has the same color as the front motor. And of course this is direct drive, so you don't have to worry about any shafts or torque tubes breaking during small crashes. It's just so easy, and she is so beautiful. Let me put her down here. We are not going to use too much time on the unboxing because there are so many of them out on the internet. In this bag you have some zip ties, probably for the satellites on your receiver. And you have a main shaft, you have a feather shaft, you have some screws and some extra servo arms if you are unlucky stripping those. I will of course give you guys a closer look. It's so beautiful, and all the aluminium, even the servos, they look so beautiful. I have read a little bit about the flight controller and of course these pancake motors and the direct drive, and I'm really eager to try this out to see if this is something for me. And of course, if I like this heli, you will see even more videos of this heli, of course, perhaps even one more, the purple one and the red one. Not sure. This one is like a plug and play. You only need your own satellite to install here. Comes with a 650 milliamp battery, 45C. As you can see, the gyro is pretty big, the flight controller. It's a bit, there are some reflections from the light here. Beautiful. So right now I just want to bind this heli to my radio so I can go out and fly it and have some good times with it. And of course I'm going to set it up neutral so that I can adjust the settings later after the first flight. I'll keep the linear pitch curves, only adjusting of course the idle up curves, which you need to, but they will also be tuned down or raised if I need that. But let's just go into the setting for the radio. So let's start by creating a new model. Press the two top buttons together and then choose new model, and we want to create a helicopter, of course. Model name is for your preferences. Back button. Like that. And now we are going to select source type. That is going to be set on normal because we are using a flybarless unit. And yeah, it's set on normal. Flight mode setup. I like to use my switch B, which is on top here for the flight mode. And as you can see, the radio always remembers my last setting, so I'm going to press here and switch B. And hold switch. I want to be my throttle cut button in the front right corner. So like that. And yeah. So flight mode, you can spoken flight mode, you can add speech to it, but the radio, the NX10 does that for you. Channel assign, this one is a bit important. So you want to go down to the gear channel, and you can set this for whichever switch that you like, but I like to have it on my idle up and idle 2 controller. That means flight mode controller. So I'm going to choose B for this one. That means when you are in normal mode, your helicopter will be in a self-leveling mode, and when you switch to idle up 1 and 2, you will have it turned off. Someone wants to have the mode as well in idle up, so that you can actually put it on the switch D, for example this one, as it was from the beginning. You don't have to do anything about the trim setups. The only thing you need to do now is go back and go into the model, and we are going to go straight into the throttle curve. This ESC has a built-in governor which will activate when you are using flat curves. So on my normal mode I will have a linear curve, just so that I can check out the heli and how it responds. And I will change this curve later, but for now I will have it linear.
On the idle one, sorry, I will have 60 flat. This is just for starter. Of course, it's a preference for each pilot, so you can choose what throttle curve that you like. And then we go back and set for 2. And I think I will have 75 on this, like that. And there my throttle curves are okay. And as you can see, the hold curve is at the bottom, it's 0, and that's good because then your heli won't start when you're in hold mode. The next, it's pitch curves. So I would like to have the pitch curves linear until I know how agile the helicopter is. And you can also add dual rates and expo on this one later on if that is something that you want. Go back. You don't have to think about gyro settings on this one because it has direct drive. That means it has 2 motors driving the tail blade, and of course also the main motor. So do not set any gyro. You can adjust the gyro in the flight controller after having your first flight to see if the tail looks good or if it's too good or if it's bad. Usually out of the box these helis are rock steady, so we will wait and see. Now you can go out. Well, that's it. Now we can bind the helicopter to our transmitter and make sure that you remove the blades, main blades and tail blades before you do so. Always be on the safe side.
So now we are going to bind this flight controller to the Spektrum Radio. Some people say it's a bit of a struggle to do so. Actually, it isn't. What you need is your own receiver with a satellite, of course, because we are going to use the satellite, and an ESC or a power source for your receiver, and you're going to bind the receiver with the satellite to the radio. Just pick out the satellite, put it into the flight controller, and you should be good to go. But that's for us to find out right now. So what I'm going to do now is to put my power source into the ESC, which my power source is a 3-cell battery. And we can see that both the satellite and the receiver is blinking. And on the NX radio you don't have to go and turn off the radio. You can just go into the menu and choose bind, which I'm going to do now. Bind here, and yes, and bind. So now we have binded the satellite, giving the satellite the information it needs, and we're going to power it off, of course, and pick out the wires. What I've learned with the or the satellites for the Spektrum, these wires, they are a bit fragile. So if you see that you have some problem with low blinking lights or no blinking at all, you better change these wires. I'm not sure why they are so fragile, but I had this problem on numerous satellites. I did buy some third-party wires. They are holding up good, but these are original. So let's then put this into the DSMX on the radio or the flight controller, like this. If you have throttle cut or throttle hold on your radio, make sure that you remove the blades before you start up the heli the first time. You never know if there is a faulty flight controller, or something could be terribly wrong. So you really want to remove the blades I have now removed the main blades and the tail blade, of course. Here they are. And we are going to start up this beautiful heli. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it does. And taking a look at the swash blades, everything looks mechanically okay and it's level. We have don't need to reverse anything. Beautiful. And of course you can set up the expo and dual rates a bit later after you have taken that initial flight. You need to know how the helicopter handles and you will be good to go. The only thing I need to do now is to mount this satellite. So a final advice to you all, always check the screws on your heli. There has been some reports that the tail blade has come loose due to loose screws. You don't want to lose your heli just because you didn't check. So do that and make sure that you perhaps use some Loctites on things that you know can come off. These blades are mounted with 2 screws at the tail motor. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not, but I would likely perhaps put a bit of Loctite on them, just to make sure that they don't come loose, because there are some vibrations here, of course, and the tail motor is also connected with some screws in behind here in front of the fin. So make sure that everything is tight before you do the flight. It rhymes, flight and tight. I'm super happy, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it was informative and that you actually want to buy one yourself. We're going to do the test flight and then see if there's something that we want to change on the settings, and then we will dive into the gyro or the flight controller and do some settings. But until next time, until the flight video, have a great weekend, have a great week, have a great day, and we see you all very soon.